here in Weda City, we have 7 important steps which represent the slave roads. We are here presently at slave market. Before there were many kingdoms in the country, in Dahomey country. We have Abomey kingdom, Alada kingdom, Port Nuevo kingdom, Weda kingdom, several kingdoms that time in the country. So between them, they fight. After they fight, the winner people make a prisoner. So it's them they brought here in this place, sold to white men who are French, Portuguese, English, Danish, and Dutch. So all of them came into this place to exchange them with some objects. So it is under this tree, and here they sold before slaves. Here was slave market before. So this tree will be 300 years old in 2027 because it was planted in 1727. It is ficus, or fig. Do you know fig? Fig tree, yeah. So under the tree we have a statue. This statue represents the slaves. It is the strong people they brought that time. So if they want to exchange them, if the European gave 1 pipe, they collect 5 slaves. If it is a bottle of alcohol, it is for 10 slaves. If it is a cannon like those that we have in the wall over there, if it is only women, it is 21, only men 15. If it is a mirror, the mirror costs 40 to 50 slaves. So before they will exchange them, they control their teeth, if they are sick or not sick. After that, they brought them inside of that greenhouse over there to mark them with hot iron. Like that, when the slave will be in destination in America, every master or slaver will know he's a slave. So it is over there, inside of that house, they mark them before to bring them on that way. Here we are in slave market. After here, we continue our visit on slave road. They come to buy them like birds, whole fish in the water. So here we are in Brazil area. Please continue. Why Brazil area in Benin country? You know, in slavery moment, all people who live here in this area were selling into slavery. So when slavery take end in America, some of them stayed there. Those of them come back in Africa to check their origin. So when they came back, it is here our government give them to live. So finally, they don't know their origin. So they keep the name of the slavers, which are Da Silva, Domingos, Dorrego, Dos Santos. So all people who live here have like name Brazilian or Portuguese name. Domingo, Dorrego, Dos Santos. They are descendants of slaves now. Intronization of the king. When our ancestors became king, they chose some object or some animal to communicate their power. So why this king chose the bird and the drum like his symbol? He said nobody can stop the bird to sing, and then nobody can stop the drum to reason. That means nobody can stop this king to give advice or order in his kingdom. So on the way, we will see only Abomey's king symbol, because in slavery moment, it is the king of Abomey city who sold most of slaves to European. Do you understand? Here. So this is his father. So why this king chose the lion like his symbol? When he became king, he compared himself about lion. He said the lion is the king of the forest. He wants to tell on this way he's the only king who has the power in Dahomey kingdom. Dahomey was old name of the country of Benin. Before Benin was called Dahomey, not Benin. That's it. So this king says he's the lion, and then all the country is the forest. So he's the only king who has the power in the country. Continuity, infinity. So this continuity symbolizes Dahomey kingdom, Benin kingdom. They want to explain on this way, kingdom continue to exist in the country here. Normally, if we have presidents in the country, we don't need also king. So despite we have a president in our country, we have also some king in our village. So if the president want to do something, and in their village. If he wants, he can go to hear some advice from them before to do what he wants to do. So kingdom continue to exist in Benin. If you go in Porto Nuevo, Abome, everywhere in the country, you will see some kings. This place is also very important, very interesting. The first important steps is slave market, Tata place. The second important step, the greenhouse, the mark house close to the market. And this place is also very important. Here is the third important step of slave road. So when they finish, please move your legs. Before, one king of Abome city planted a baobab tree here. So when the slaves came here, they forced them to move around the tree. Women 7 times and the men 9 times. So for the kings, when the slave will finish to move around the tree, they will forget everything, their identity, their origin, everything. That's why we call the tree of forgetfulness. The tree was destroyed by the wind. It's later we planted hyssop tree here instead of that tree, just to mark the place. So why women move around the tree 7 times and men 9 times, and then they don't do the same at all? It is because here in our tradition, we say that women have 7 ribs and the men 9. That's why the thought is different. So this is a mermaid siren. So the mermaid live in the sea. So as mermaid live in the sea, we just choose it to symbolize the spirit of all those slaves who died during the traveling on the sea. So sorry, let me ask you a question. If you analyze well the world of today, can we say that the general culture of the world, can we say that despite the tour that the slaves make here at that time, they were truly forgot that time? Can we say when they finish to move around the tree, they forget? They didn't forget anything that time. If, for example, we have voodoo in Haiti, Guadeloupe, Martinique, outside of Africa, it is because of slaves. So if they forget that time, they cannot continue to practice their own culture outside of Africa. So they didn't forget anything that time. So here was the place of the tree, but the tree was destroyed by the winds.
Wow.
So do you have any question? Sold their one brother to European. It is the black men, the king, who sold their one brother to European. So the black men sold the black men to European. The first one, the pelican with the fish, symbolize how the European come to buy them here. But this represents how our one ancestors sold their one brother to European. Do you understand?
Yes.
In our culture, in Voodoo religion, like gods. So people respect them very well here in the country. So every September, all people who are twins come on this place and celebrate their feast.
I'm a twin. I might come back.
On our right side here, we have a chameleon. This enemy that we call that time Da. So if we say Da in our language, Da means snake. So if we say Dahome, people think about Dahome means in stomach of snake. It's not a true snake. It is one person we call that time Dan. So that man, the man Dan with this king were enemies. So as they were enemies, this king give order to kill his enemy Dan and build his palace on his grave. So he was saying he was building his palace in stomach of on the grave of the man Dan. So Dahome means on the grave of Dan. Do you understand me? So why this king chose the chameleon like his symbol? Before he was king, he was very old. So he compared himself about chameleon who goes slow. He says slowly, slowly like chameleon goes, his kingdom will grown up, will be grown. He will grow up his kingdom. So, and then Benin, Dahome became Benin from 1975. It is one of our older presidents who changed this name, Dahome, to Benin. Because when Benin was called Dahome, people who are from south has more power than people who come from the north. Agbo of Abome city. Agbo was the last king of Abome city. It is him who betrayed the king Béhanzin. Béhanzin is the king who fights against the colonization here. So the French people cannot catch Béhanzin. It is Béhanzin himself who decided one day to meet them somewhere in Goho. Goho is where we have Béhanzin statue now in Abomey City. So it is this king himself who, it is this king, the brother of Béhanzin, who betrayed Béhanzin. If not, the French people cannot catch him. He was very powerful king. So when this king finished to betray his brother, he regrets and he say, this leg, the leg, represent the kingdom of his brother Béhanzin. So the kingdom of his brother Béhanzin, the leg, stumbled against the stone in front. We are here in front of Zomati House. Zomati House was built in after slavery. We built this house for reconciliation. So every third Sunday of January, the Black American, the European and African come here. When they come, the European and African forgiveness the Black American, because they say slavery is European and African fault. So we call the house Zomati. Zomati like that. Zomati is our local language in Fon. Zo means fire. Mati means never extent, never goes. For the Black American, this fire never goes or never extends represent for the descendant of slaves, never forget slavery story, because it is a sad story. So all different photos that we have on the wall represent the summary of slave road. So now I invite you to explain them to you one by one. We start from photo here. We have three trees. The first tree represents the tree that we have at slave market in Chacha Place. The small one in middle, the short one, the tree of forgetfulness where we come from, and then the third represents the tree of return. After this place, we'll go in this village and visit that tree. The tree still alive, the tree of return still alive. We'll visit it. Slaves are here at the slave market. They are there trying to control their amount before to exchange them. If you remember well, I told you when we are at the market, before they will exchange them, they control their teeth. So they are there trying to check their mouth before to exchange them. They control them from the mouth to the teeth. If you follow, on our left side we have a room. This is a darkness room. Darkness room was before behind this house. This house didn't exist before. Only darkness room existed before. So when the slave finished to move around the tree of forgetfulness, they brought all of them in this village back in this room for three reasons. The first reason is for disorientation. The second reason, they packed them there to teach them the condition of the ships. They stay in the ship always in darkness, same in this room. The third reason, they packed them there waiting the ships. So when the ships came, they were going to divide them into two groups. They separated Thai and Dead from Strong and brought them somewhere in this village and threw it in the hole. So after here, I will show you the place of the hole. So when they finished to bury Thai and Dead in the hole, they brought the Strong to this tree. I will show you the statue of Ghost. This tree is still alive. We will visit it after here. We continue. So this photo shows us the slaves are here on the sea. The big ship stay far away somewhere on the sea, and then they use the small boat to transport them to the ships, because we have no port here before. And then they pack the slave in the ship like sardine. Women sleep on their back and the men on their stomach. Like that during the traveling, the slave come down and abuse the black women. This is the origin of this race. So each ship can get 1,000 people. During the traveling, half of them die. 500 people die during the travel, because some of them prefer to kill themselves to go. So those who prefer to kill themselves, and then they throw them in the sea. Iron like that, they cannot shout. After here, I will show you the position of the mark. So on this photo, we have some objects making by slaves. So all different objects were bringing back in Africa to exchange with other slaves. So all different ideas come from slaves. So here we have the first senator who fight against the slavery and colonization. Between them, we have Toussaint Louverture. Do you know Toussaint Louverture? He's from Haiti, but his origin is here, Benin. He's from Alada City. If you want to get Alada City, you will see his statue. He's from Alada City. So it is because of him Haiti has get its independence in 1804. So Haiti was the first black country which get its independence. So here we have Martin Luther King, the American, I have a dream, and here Victor Schœlcher, the person who stopped slavery in French colonization. Benin. Those go in the market sell flour and the chicken. They exile also children because they say if they go there, children will grow up. So here on this photo they write Wakaima, Haiti. Wakaima is the first ceremony organized in Haiti before to start the revolt. They call this ceremony Wakaima, and then they organize this ceremony under the tree that we call Wakaima. That is the same kind of the tree. The biggest one inside of the house is also Wakaima, same thing. So it is under this tree they give them the independence. Here we call this room Zomai in our language. Zomai means darkness room. So the room has no window. It gets only one gate. The slaves stay here always in darkness during 3 months, and then they eat also once in a day, only bread and water. So if you analyze well this condition, some of them becomes weak, those die. The dead and the weak were putting in together. Now bring somewhere, throw it in the hole. So after here I will show you the place of the hole. So in the room we have two statues in cement. They symbolize how they chain those slaves who revolt in the room. They chain them like that during 3 months. And then it is also like that they gag their mouth before to mark them with hot iron. Like that they cannot shout. In middle here we have another statue. This statue represents the different ethnic that they exile from here. On our right side here down, we have a big head which gets 6 scars on his face. This head represents the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Most of them was going in slavery because they are very strong. So after this big head, we have on the same side on high we have a room. This room represents the darkness room where we are now. So in middle here we have 3 small heads. They represent the fun of Abome city. You know, despite it is the king of Abome city who sold slave to slavery, they were also selling their one brother in the kingdom. So if in the kingdom you committed adultery, they sold you into slavery. So after these 3 small heads, we have another big head in the middle which gets 10 scars on his face. This big head represents our ancestor who worship Python like gods. It is them who get the scar. So our ancestor also went in slavery. So after this big head, we have other 5 small heads which represents all people who is from Dahomey. I say Dahomey here, I don't say Benin, because you know when Benin was called Dahomey, it was included Togo. So Togo and Benin were Dahomey that time. Begins to move around this free time. This time it is free time for all of them, women like men. Like that, when the slave will die in America, their spirit will come back later in Africa. These spirits will come back later in Africa are represented now in Benin like ghosts. So when we be at the beach, I will show you the statue of ghost. Before the king was planted the tree, he was killed one slave. He cut his head, put his dead body in a hole before to plant the tree. That's why this statue that we have under the tree has no head. It gets like head the tree. So that means when the slave will die in America, the spirit of this slave will bring back the spirit of those who will die in America. So it is the same tree. We call it tree of sausage because its fruit look like sausage. Its scientific name is Kigelia africana. So after this thaw, directly they brought them on the sea. So when they go there, they put them in the ship and go in America. So after here, if we left here, we go to at the beach. We are going to see the gate. We call it asato. Only we call it here sato. So only the orphan can play this drum. If you are orphan of mother, you can play it with your left hand. Or father with your right hand, both with your two hands. Just explain about the king is dead. So if the king is dead that time, they call the orphan to play the drum. So if you hear this sound, you will know the king is dead. So if when they play the drum, only the minority can hear this sound. So if they want to translate this message to other people, they have to use some words. They can say, it is black on the day. It is night on the day. We never say that time the king is dead. If not, they will cut your heads. If you want, you can also say the king is traveling. You can also say there is one big tree which is destroyed in the forest. We never say that time the king is dead. If not, they will cut your head. You can use some word to explain about the king is dead. But now you can say king is dead. If not before, there was no gate. Nothing was here before. They just passed there. So look at well on the gate. The gate was made in 1995 by UNESCO. So look at well on the gate. In middle we have a ship. This ship symbolizes the ship that they use in slavery moment. So the same gate presents us how they change slave from the market to here. They change them in line, one by one. Close to the gate on our left side, we have three statues. They represent men slave, and then on our right side, we have women and children. The exact children too, because they say if they go there, they will grow up. In Africa, we have 6 big gates of no return. The first gate is in Senegal. The second gate is in Angola. The third gate, the biggest one. I say biggest one because we have the slave of Nigeria, Benin, Togo, Niger who pass here. The fourth gate is in Elmina or Cape Coast in Ghana. The fifth gate is in Pointe Noire in Congo. And then the sixth last gate is in Gabon. So we call it a gate of Romal, that one that we have in Gabon. So now we cross the gate and see the second side of the gate. But here, if you see well here, we see them from back. But the second side of the gate will present us the face. That one that we saw in the village. So I told you when we are in the village, when the slave will finish to move around that tree, their spirit will come back later when they will die in America. So these spirits will come back later in Africa are represented now in Benin like ghosts. So we have 2 statues of ghosts on your left and right sides. Left and right, we have 2 statues of ghosts. They symbolize the spirit of all those slaves who died outside of Africa. So close to the gate on our left side here, we have Liberia country symbol. You know Liberia? Yes. Liberia country was created after slavery. So when slavery took end in America, some of them stayed there, those of them come back in Africa to create Liberia country and Sierra Leone or something like that. So Liberia country was created in 1847 by slaves. So close to the gate on our right side over there, we have the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Most of them was made in slavery. That's why everywhere we pass, we see their statue. Between those houses over there, only one is original. The biggest one was in darkness room. They separated tire and dead from strong, brought them here and threw it in a hole. Before there was one big hole here. We call this hole common hole. Why common hole? Because Nigeria people, Benin people, Togo people, and Niger people, all of them were buried together here in the hole. So that is the wall of lamentation, the wall of cry. The red color that we have on the wall represents the blood of slaves. The brown color represents the slaves themselves, and then the black color represents the chain that they used to chain them. In the house over there, we have one statue which broke its chain. This statue symbolizes the freedom. You know, this place where we are now represents the freedom of slaves that time. If they die, they are free. If they don't die, they continue to work hard in their life. So here, this place, the cemetery represents their freedom that time. So over there, we have another statue in iron. This statue represents the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Most of them was going in slavery. That's why everywhere we pass, we see their statue. They are very strong that time. So over there we have, before there were two statues. It is one slave who beat his slave in front, but at night the sealer of iron come to steal iron statue. That's why we have only one now. If you want, we can go there and take photo. Before to go there, you have to take off your shoes from here before to go there. It's just respect for our ancestors that day.